Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Mindset Medicine Podcast. I am your host, Catherine Lucadu, and we're going to be talking about the hustle and grind today. And do we really need to be doing it? What is the ultimate life hack? And is it the hustle and grind, or are we just doing it all wrong? Tune in today because we've got a really great episode and a little bit of story time. Let's get started. We're going to be talking about vision. We're going to be talking about how to know which opportunities to grab onto and which ones not to. I know in real estate, we have something called the shiny object syndrome, where something new comes on the market and people are going for that one, or a new app comes out and people are reaching for that one. And as entrepreneurs, it is really important to know what your vision is before you get bombarded with all of these things on a daily basis. Because what can happen is we can start to get confused and we can start to see what's really important right now. And alongside that is the story that I mentioned yesterday in a post that I made on Facebook. And I'm going to tell you a story today because this story is directly related to how we decide our future. What do we want it to look like? And how do we want to feel in our future? Business can be very confusing. There are many moving parts when you're a business owner, right? You have the people, you have the business, you have when you are working on the business and when you are working in the business. And they are two completely different dimensions to business. Because one is the functionality of your business when you are working on it. And it's the systems that drive your business. And it's how growth happens. But when you are working in your business, it means you're there in the trenches doing the work. So they are two completely different dimensions. And in an age where we are defined by hustle, by relentless ambition, where success is seen as a measure of wealth and how you scale your business, sometimes we have to pause and ask ourselves, is growth the way of my vision? Is growth what I'm looking for? Because don't forget, there are two types of growth. We can grow wide or we can grow deep. And you have to ask yourself, which way do I want to grow my business? No matter what business it is that you have, whether you are running a real estate business, whether you are running a retail business, an online business, a coaching business, it doesn't matter. Are you trying to go wide in your business, meaning reach lots and lots of people, have loads and loads of products? Or are you going deep? Are you going to focus on just 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 core things, and that is what you're going to hone in on? So today we are going to talk about that very question. Do we go wide? Do we go deep? And all of it comes back to your vision of what's important to you. And what fuels you? What fuels your purpose here? Why are you doing what you do? You know, you started this business. So why did you start it? Why are you doing it? Is it for money? Because I'll tell you, this is something that I talk to with my coaching clients. Because money is actually not a motivator. It is what money can do. Money is a vehicle that brings us from A to B. So what is money doing for you? And these are questions that I would continue to ask and bring you along until we actually get to your core motivator in what money will allow you. Is it freedom? Is it traveling? But again, what does traveling give you? Freedom. Is it being able to buy things? And what will buying things do for you? And again, those questions, it's like peeling an onion. So let's get to the story because it's a really good story. And I think that you are going to get a lot out of it. So story time. Here we go. A successful businessman was on vacation at the pier of a small coastal village when a small boat with just one fisherman docked. Inside the small boat were several large yellowfin tuna. The businessman complimented the fisherman on the quality of his fish, and he asked how long it took to catch them. The fisherman proudly replied, "Every morning I go out in my boat for 30 minutes to fish. I am the best fisherman in the village." The businessman, perplexed, then asked the fisherman, "Well, if you're the best, why don't you stay out longer and catch more fish? What do you do with the rest of your day?" The fisherman replied, "I sleep late, I fish a little, I play with my children, I spend quality time with my wife, and every evening we stroll into the village to drink wine, play guitar, and talk with our friends. I have a full and happy life." The businessman scoffed, "Wow, I'm a successful CEO and have talent for spotting business opportunities. I can help you to be more successful. You should spend more time fishing and with the proceeds, buy a bigger boat. With the proceeds from the bigger boat, you could buy several boats. And eventually you would have a fleet of fishing boats with many fishermen. Instead of selling your catch to just your friends, you can scale and sell fish to thousands of people. You could leave this small coastal fishing village and move to the big city, where you can oversee your growing empire." The fisherman asked, "But how long will this take?" To which the businessman replied, 15 to 20 years. "But what then?" asked the fisherman. The businessman laughed and said, "Well, that's the best part. When the time is right, you would announce an IPO and sell your company stock to the public and become very rich. You would make millions." "Millions?" said the fisherman. "Then what?" The businessman said, "Well, then you would retire, move to a small coastal fishing village where you would sleep late, fish a little, play with your kids, spend time with your wife, stroll around the village in the evenings, and play guitar with your friends." And the fisherman just looked at him and said, "But isn't that what I'm doing right now?" So I love this story because it truly defines purpose, passion, and vision. So if we had to sit back for a moment and talk about these two characters, right? And this isn't going to become an English lesson, but if we were to talk about these two characters and some of the lessons that we can take from this story, this is what I'd like you to think about. I know that, and I've been in, the hustle culture, and I help entrepreneurs and business people move to their next level. But here's what I make sure at the beginning of a coaching call, or if I'm teaching a seminar, is where do you want to go? Where do you want to be 2 years from now? Because it's not about me teaching you to hustle. It's not about me teaching you the systems to grow. The question first and foremost is, what is your vision of your life? And what do you want that to look like? And the beauty of this story is that fisherman knew what his vision was. He knew where he wanted to go. He knew how he wanted to live life. That's not to say that the businessman CEO didn't know, but isn't it funny, that circle of life, right? Where the CEO is bringing him back to the exact same place where he is. Sure, he would have more money, but what are you going to do with all that money in the small coastal fishing village? So here's some lessons that I would love for you to take away from this story today. And if you like this story, let me know. Let me know if you found this, was it good? Was it intriguing? if it made you pause, if it made you think about it for a minute and think, yeah, that is what happens in life, isn't it? We create these circles and we don't really know where we're going, and we go round and round and round. But what is the end goal? What is it that you are chasing? So, number one, define your success. The businessman had his own standard of success and how he envisioned success, which involved growing wealth and expanding and scaling operations. The fisherman, however, had a completely different view. He valued time with his family, walking around the village, doing a little bit of work, getting a little bit of money that would be just enough to keep him where he needed to be in a simple, happy state. So the first lesson here is to define your own success. What does that look like to you? And have you ever thought about it? Have you sat down to think about how you define success? Not how success has been taught to you, not what you see success as on social media, but what do you define your success as? What do you value most in life? And is your vision of success following what you value? Is it being driven by what you value? Or some days do you sit back and wonder, what am I doing? This is not where I wanted to be. How do I get back to that road where I wanted to be? What does a successful life look like to you today? What does a successful life look like to you right now? And does it look the same as it did 5 years ago? It probably doesn't. Or 10 years ago. And this is the beauty of vision, is that our visions can change. What we had in mind 10 years ago, we were in a different space of time. We were in a different chapter of our life. So in the chapter you are living in today, are you still being propelled by the vision from 5 years ago or 10 years ago? Or should that vision now change? Should your purpose and what you're aiming, striving for in life change? Just some questions to think about. Does your entrepreneurial journey align with your vision and your purpose and what it is that you want from life? Number 2, balance. So, it's an interesting topic, balance, because I don't necessarily believe that there is balance in life. I think that we should consider it more like flow. So balance typically means if you have a scale, everything is just beautifully balanced, right? It's even, but it's not. If you have a relationship, if you're in a relationship, is it completely balanced? It's not. It's I would say, consider it to be 100% responsibility. The other person has 100% responsibility, and then you are coming together and you are mixing your responsibilities. But I don't ever think it's completely balanced. What I think is the goal is flow. Can you flow through your life? Does it feel good? Does it feel harmonious? Yes, you can go and work all these hours over here, but are you also resting and recharging over here? Is one overshadowing the other, and is the other suffering because of it? So these are some things I would like you to think about, because entrepreneurs very often feel a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. And there is the pressure, and I have fallen guilty to this, the pressure of an entrepreneur to feel like they always need to be working. They always need to be growing, scaling. Now, is that intrinsically created by you, or are you following into what you believe is expected of you as a business owner? Balance in life. Why don't we call it harmony in life? Can we balance? If you have lots of kids, can you balance your kids? No, you can't. Different kids will have different needs. Can you balance all of these different issues that you have going on? What if you have a health issue? Can you balance what's going on in life against that health issue? Typically not. Typically, you're going to focus on your health issue so that you can get better, so that you can go back and perform the way you are used to performing in life and in business. So is there balance there? There's not. Can there be harmony? Yes, there can. I mentioned this in a previous video, and I'm going to talk about it again today, and that is becoming intentional. Are you intentional about how you are spending your time? Are you intentional about how you are living your life? Whether you are choosing balance or whether you're going to choose harmony, whether you are choosing to hustle and grind, and is that aligning with what your end goal is in life? You know, one of the saddest things that I see happen, and I know you have too, is that people work and they work their tails off their entire lives. And many of you will have parents who did this and grandparents who did this. And what happened? By the time they got to the age of retirement, what happened? Someone got sick. Someone was injured. Someone maybe passed. What happened to all the money that they were striving to make during all those years? What happened to it? They're not taking it with them. This plays a lot in my mind because when I was 33 and I had a massive heart attack and triple bypass surgery, then I had a minor stroke, and the list goes on. I started thinking about these things from a young age, because when you're lying there in a hospital bed, fighting for your life all of a sudden isn't this long journey you have ahead of you. You know, the idea that, oh my gosh, there's so many years to go. There might not be. So my question is this: are you hustling and grinding and all of these things for a day in the future where all of this will pay off and you will finally achieve what you want? Are you doing it because you love it? Or are you doing it because you are trying to what? What is the reason? And as long as you know what that reason is, that's all anyone needs to know, right? This is my vision. This is my purpose. This is why I'm doing this. Great. But if you haven't figured that out yet, it's time to figure that out. And that is what I help business entrepreneurs, agents do, is to get clarity. Why are you doing that one thing? Why are you chasing after that shiny object? Does it align with what it is that you are trying to achieve here? And when you can start to shift the perspective and mindset of a person, that's when everything starts to change. And the decisions they make change. And the opportunities all of a sudden open up to them. I know because I had a coaching call yesterday with a young man. And that's what he said to me. He said, ever since I started really getting clear on what I want, those doors started opening for me and opportunities are now coming my way. And so what do I help him do now? Now we move to the next step in the journey. And it's what systems to create for those new opportunities that are coming in, so that we don't take away from the vision that you still have. Let's go to the next one. Know when enough is enough. I think that's something else that we have heard from our parents over the years. Don't you have enough? Isn't that enough? That word enough. The businessman was all about more in this story, wasn't he? Scale more, grow more, sell more, make more. He was all about more. Whereas the fisherman knew what was his enough, because he had a very clear picture of what it is that he wanted. When we are constantly chasing more, it can lead to a never-ending cycle. It can lead to a never-ending cycle of dissatisfaction. It is important to identify what your enough is. When is enough? Or do you not have a limit? And if that's the case, then do you just plan on doing this forever? If you can create yourself an end goal, a budget, an amount of money, what is that deadline for you? So that you can move on to that next chapter. What does that look like for you? Next point, enjoy the journey. This is something I think not enough people do. I don't think enough people enjoy the journey that they're on. In the story, the businessman's plan involved working a lot of hours with the promise of eventual enjoyment once all the money would be made. The fisherman, on the other hand, was enjoying life right now. So this is the next lesson. Are you enjoying your journey? Or does it feel like a struggle? Does it feel like a challenge? And is there a way to change that up? Why not enjoy what you're doing? How can you start today to enjoy what you're doing? The next one, purpose over profits. The fisherman derived joy from his daily activities and his connection with others, his playing with the guitar, spending time with his wife, spending time with his kids. That was his enjoyment. And so he was all in on that. He knew he made enough money selling fish and the amount that he caught to provide him for that life. That's the life that he wanted. Is that to say that the businessman was wrong? It's not. Because maybe that is the life that he wants. When you can value your purpose over your profits, you will begin to enjoy life so much more. What is your purpose? Maybe your purpose is what you're doing as your job, and you feel fulfilled because you feel like that's giving back. Some people leave their job that they've been doing for years and years and years to start something different because they realized that they were missing something, they were missing fulfillment in the job they had. So they decided to create a second or third career, open a business, and fuel their passion because life is short. This is what I want for you. Living a life through your passion and purpose. Yes, you will make money doing it, and probably more than you were even making before. But until you realize what your passion and purpose is, what is it that fulfills you, you may not ever get there. Money and making money is important. It's what moves us. It helps. It's the vehicle to achieve what we want, isn't it? Obviously, we need money to pay our bills, take us on vacations, help us drive a car. Money is what makes the world go round, as they say. However, knowing the purpose behind what you're doing while you're making your money is equally as important. And finally, this one is one of the largest lessons that I know I have learned in life, and I hope that you are learning or have learned it as well, is that time is actually the ultimate currency. Unlike money, time is a resource you will never get back. No matter how much you wish you cannot get back the time you have spent. You can make back money. Anyone who thinks that, money doesn't grow on trees or that there is a finite amount of money, that's wrong. Because as long as you are a capable human being, you can go out there and make money, but you will never get your time back. You will never get it back for your family. You will never get it back for your kids. You will never get it back for yourself to actually enjoy this life that we have been provided. Recognize that time is one of the most important assets and valuable assets that you actually own. And make sure that you invest it wisely. And I use the word investment just like money, because when you have used up your time on ideas, or you're doing a project, or on people that weren't deserving of your time, you will never get that back. And that time could have been used elsewhere. And I've spoken about this before. Are you fulfilling other people's agendas rather than your own? And is that how you are spending your time? The lessons from this story are here to encourage you to take a step back and just ask yourself, will I regret anything in my life if the end of my life were approaching? Is there a better way that I could be doing this? Maybe you just don't know how, and that's why I'm here. Maybe you haven't given yourself permission to think about these things, and it's time. So I'm going to leave you with a bunch of questions that I would love for you to sit back and, even right now as you hear them, think about them, because they're important. So here we go. Ask yourself, what would financial freedom look like for me? Is it an amount of money? Is it a place that you hope to be living? Is it a way of life that you hope to have, the lifestyle? What does that look like for you? 2, to what end am I willing to work for money? What are you willing to give up or sacrifice in exchange to make money? And possibly making money in an unfulfilled way versus a more fulfilling way. Like I said, if you follow your passion and purpose, there is a high chance that you will be making more money than you ever made. But so many people are afraid to even think about what your passion and purpose is, because you're in the job that you took 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Well, maybe that's just not a job you want to do anymore. That was a different chapter of your life. Does that chapter still stand today? Only you know that. 3, what brings you lasting joy, not just temporary happiness? What brings you joy? Do you know what brings you joy? Because when you can figure that out, that's when life becomes more fulfilling. And your vision becomes clearer on the way that you wish to live life and the way that you wish to run your business. You know what's interesting? When you feel more joy, other people will feel that from you. And they will actually want to do more business with you. People want to work with people who are joyful and happy. So the sooner you find that out for yourself, the sooner you actually get to where you want to go. Next one, what and who do I value the most in my life? Have you thought about that? Who do you value? Because we have social media today, and when you see the way people are posting on social media and the emotions that people get when they receive negative feedback, it's as if that they personally know these people and are taking it to heart. Don't. Most of those people, let me tell you, will never be at your funeral, but yet you're listening to their feedback. Try to live life with what you value most and who you value most. And then everything else will not bother you as much. Am I spending my limited time on things that truly matter? Another question for you. Am I spending time on things that truly matter? Maybe ask yourself this. In 1 year from now, is this one thing that I'm concerned about or worried about, will it mean anything? Will it even affect my life? If not, stop worrying about it. 1 year from now, it doesn't even exist. You won't even remember it happened. If I was told, this is a really poignant question. If I was told I had 6 months left to live? What would I spend my time on? What would be my regrets? What would that look like to you? Would you be doing what you're doing right now? If yes, then you are living that life that you feel you were meant to be living. If not, how can you get to that life? Because like I said, life is short, much shorter than you think. How can I align my values with my spending? We don't talk too much about financials, but we will start to. Do your spending habits align with the life that you are trying to create for yourself? Do your spending habits in your business align with where you want your business to go? Are you using the profits of your business to put them back into your business? Or are you taking the profits of your business and buying cars? Again, it goes back to your vision. What is your vision for your life? And finally, what do I need to do to balance the pursuit of my future goals in life with living life in the present? How do we do that? So here is something to remember. Right now, you are creating your future. The future is not far ahead of us. It is now. So every decision that you make right now is affecting what tomorrow will be, the following day, the next week, the next year. Once you are clear, you have clarity and vision for your life, then what happens is every decision that you make leads you toward that beautiful destination. And let's not forget to enjoy the journey along the way. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, then you're doing it wrong. Enjoy what you do. Love what you do. Feel passionate about it. Maybe you feel my passion right now because this is what I love doing. I want people to understand that life is shorter than we think it is. So we don't have time to waste it on being miserable. There's no reason. I hope that you enjoy the journey and learn to love it. And if not to have the fear to make a change. Change is good. Change is growth. Change is what will make you more fulfilled. So step out of your comfort zone and move to the areas where you feel like it's unknown. You're not used to going in there. Go there. Go there because that's where the magic happens. Don't be afraid to move out of your comfort zone and say, no, listen, this is the life that I want, so I'm going to go all in and I'm going to get it. That's what I want for you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week. Reach out to me. I hope that you can put a comment letting me know if you found this helpful. Write helpful. Write me a comment saying, you know what, this was great. Or maybe it wasn't. You let me know. So until next week, bye for now.